did give me a lot of stern talking to, and he was always very positive about everything that he said. And I have to tell him this. He was right about several things that he told me. So, but I did bring positive things for you. Dominica is I love Dominica, and I have to tell you this experience because I always give you my own. People think like sometimes I come on the radio and I say things just for them to grab onto. But I'm being real and honest with you, and I have to tell you, I came down to Dominica, and I was telling you about my taking care of myself yesterday, and as I said, I started grooming myself, fixing up myself a little bit. I'm 52 years old now,
Right.
And I stopped eating all meat, chicken meat, pork. I stopped eating just about everything that has to do with meat. And
You don't do a lot of fish now.
fish. I'm fish eater, and I'm going to tell you, it's very expensive to be on a fish diet because, as you know, fish is not cheap. It all takes a lot of time to prepare. But yeah, I've been on a fish diet for a couple of years, and I came down to Dominica, Matt, and we had to. We had to go down and see Farrell, Farrell's chicken, and there I am with Farrell chicken, and the chicken smells so good.
You're tempted.
I wasn't tempted. I'm a weak man, So,
so Farrell in Massa.
Farrell in Massa,
And I always go there for my bakes and chicken.
Bakes and chicken, yeah. So
right.
Now I'm at 10 bakes and 4 bakes and 10 chicken. Right, and I'm enjoying Farrell's chicken with a little ketchup on the side, which is probably, as I said, not part of my normal diet.
Yes,
but I had to break it because it's Farrell's chicken. You have to have
sometimes
some
you get a little weak.
Yeah,
So you break that cycle.
You break the cycle. So so what I'm here to tell you is there's a lot of good things here because even though you're somebody like me that has kept this rigid diet of just fish and salad and going.
Yeah, here's what somebody said to me, Andy,
yes.
when we left the show yesterday. Actually sent it to the secretary of the station, and
yes.
the person said, Matt, I've been a doctor. I've been listening to Mr. Jolly in your station today, and I must say I'm truly disturbed about his comments. I worked for a political scientist for 30 years, and this is the worst situation we've had that I can remember. Listed below are some of the facts, what's happening there. The only people that aren't feeling the suffering on this situation are people whose salaries are in six figures or higher. Number two banks are running out of food, or food banks are running out of food because of the level of people in need. The illegal tariffs have caused food and other items to increase tenfold. Although this administration must return funds to the businesses, the price will remain high for the ordinary people. The first question I asked, I just sent him a text.
Just send him a text. Yeah.
I said, on what side of the political spectrum are you? Democrat or Republican? But you haven't answered just yet.
That's possible. But
I think maybe I shoot you.
Matt, I'm going to tell you, it's probably going to be different for everybody. I live for many people don't understand, I live in Seattle, Washington, which is probably one of the most western states. So you have Seattle, Portland, California. You can trickle down Idaho on the other side. In Seattle,
how long does it take you to travel to California?
Yeah, probably 8 hours. 8 hours drive.
Okay.
You could be in California. But Matt, you have to remember, and I'm talking for California, Seattle, Portland. 1 out of every 7 people that live there are millionaires.
Okay.
So
you understand his context.
So I understand his context. So 1 out of every 7 people that live. So every 7 people that you can pull up, one of them is a 6-figure salary. So therefore,
he's telling the truth then.
Well, again, like what I'm saying is that probably he should move across to Seattle. On my side of the state, we're not feeling it as bad as it is. Because I'm just saying that, and I don't want to generalize for everybody. Keep that in mind. And when I talk, I'm giving you part of my experience, and the people around me experience. So when I tell you 1 out of every 7 people are millionaires, 1 out of every 7 people have a 6-figure salary. So therefore, the statistics probably on my side may be a bit skewed. So I do agree with him, but I will tell you, things are not all right for everybody, and it never will be. But you have to figure out if things are not.
It's much better than the previous administration for everybody.
This is better than the previous administration. The previous administration wasted a lot of money and ran a lot of debt up. And I think this administration is making some changes that is different. And one of the changes that when you get a Republican government is it is for business. I don't know about anybody else. If you work for USAID or if you work for some type of donation foundation, you're probably not happy right now because we like people who work. If you want to work, Matt, I want to put you to work. I want to help you work. If you decide you want to work 12 hours, I want to put you to work for 12. You want to work 14, I want to put it. So a lot of times we have these opportunities, and it's good in a Republican administration that people are allowed to have those
As a
opportunities.
matter of fact, when you left the radio yesterday, got a number of phone calls asking for your numbers. We're looking for jobs.
As I said, I have the jobs. I have jobs available. Washington State right now has tons of jobs, high-paying jobs, and they're good jobs. And don't get me wrong, cost of living is going to be different than cost of living in Dominica, but we have the jobs available. We have jobs available, and if people are qualified and if people are willing to work hard and learn a skill, which is something that most people don't understand.
Mhm.
You gotta go out there and learn a skill. You have to go out there and master a skill and be good at something, and then things will come to you. And my company is probably 90% of foreigners. So I love working with foreigners because
Especially Dominican.
well, well, I think Caribbean people generally are hardworking people, but I think Dominicans are probably one of the hardest working people in the Caribbean. So therefore, with that being said, if I'm walking on the street and I meet a Dominican, the first thing that I ask them is,
one
can
thing
you work?
I went to school in the States, and one thing I've come to realize with a lot of Dominicans, the kind of jobs that they would do in the States, they would never do here.
Possibly, yeah, I do agree with you. But Matt, also I will tell you that no matter which job you do, it's possible to succeed in the United States. I have met janitors that are probably better off than I am. And people think I'm well off, but I've met people who do simple garbage collection. I have a guy that I went into business with, nice guy. He started off as a garbage man. And then I started coaching him along. Today, he owns a garbage business. He has several trawlers. He picks up construction sites. He called me up. He says, Andy, we're doubling business next year. A garbage man started a garbage business with me, and now he's doubling his business. I put him on the real estate track. I was living in a modest, I'll say, 3-bedroom home. The guy bought an 8-bedroom home, and he said, Andy, I'm going to rent out all the rooms. And he successfully did it. He made enough money. He decided, hey, I'm going to buy a house on the waterfront. He bought a beautiful house on the waterfront. I mean, I don't have a house on the waterfront yet. I have a boat. But I mean, here's the thing, Matt. I'm telling you that with enough work and enough effort, anybody can make it in America, as long as you're willing to put in the time and the work that it takes to get it done.
Let's take a phone call,
Yes.
and we're going to turn to the positives in a minute.
Yes.
Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pelton,
Good afternoon to you, sir.
and good afternoon, Mr. Andy.
Yes.
Afternoon.
Mr. Andy, I wanted to do one favor for small business in Dominica. Here you're asking for work, and you're a creative man in work. My name is Ronnie. I've been speaking a while now. I would like you, Mr. Jolly, we don't have a visa, but I want you to do something for us to create a work for small business people. We want to work with people like you because you have a depot, and I think you can make a good contribution by starting to do some processing on our local product. I heard you speak about it yesterday. Like we can plant the peppermint. You can make oil with it, with a distilling machine. It will not be a big one. And like the things that are very expensive, the lemongrass oil, we have that growing wild. We can distill it in a small plant, and it's very expensive. Sometimes I buy it by you for like $300 a pound, and these are things we can process here. Pasture leaf. I think there is some land above grass grow up there. You can rent the land, and I'm decided to work with people like you. You have a piece of burnt building at the front of the old market there. We can clean it up. We can clean it up and put a roof over it. It's right at the front there. So those are the first things I would like you to do for us. Don't give up on Dominica. There is hope. I told you the businessmen in Roseau, like you and Mr. Ivan Nassif, form a cooperative businessmen association. Take in charge of Roseau. Don't worry about the politicians. I think sometimes we waste our time. I myself is a small businessman, and we've been struggling. Let Matt ask you, let Matt do the clip. Franklin Moses had a program with a little businessman from Port Michel, the village of Matt. Come back from England trying to put up a $5 store. Listen to what the guy said. The guy said the Prime Minister come to England and he tell them to come home and open small business. But it's very difficult.
All right. So the point is, he's trying to make you have to create opportunities for small business. That's his point.
Well, Matt, it's a good point to make, and a lot of the things that he actually talked about, I think some of them have actually been tried before. But in order for you to succeed on a platform like Dominica, we have a very heavy base where it's government run. Anything that you're doing in Dominica is almost either one government subsidized or two government control. It's very, very hard to get any traction going with businesses that can grow. For instance, one of the major problems that we have in Dominica, hence we don't have very many factories, is that we have a very expensive, electrical company, Domlec, right, Matt? And they recently raised the prices of the electrical bill again. We have Dawasco, which is one of the companies. I don't know, Matt, if you know, a bunch of small businesses actually filed a case against Dawasco because they added this fee onto small business. So therefore, no matter if you're using one drop of water, if you're using 10 gallons of water, they added this fixed fee on the business.
It's unfair.
It's very unfair because guess what? Most of these small businesses probably have a washroom and a toilet. They're not using water as a restaurant, or they're not using water as a one of the other water producing places or anything.
Yes.
So when you have these type of things going on and there is no regulation to look over it and say, hey, look, if you put that fee, you're gonna close down a lot of our small business. There's nobody looking at that. Look at we have a system in Dominica of VAT. VAT was supposed to be, I think, something temporarily, or they were supposed to possibly take away the income tax and leave VAT or something like that. And today we still have both of them. So you have an administration that says basically F you to every business in Dominica, and they don't really care about small businesses. If the administration really showed that they care about small businesses, then they would go ahead and say, hey, guess what? We're going to put things in place that are going to facilitate the growth of small businesses. Most small business owners are not looking for money. They're not looking for handouts. What they're looking for is pathways to progress. And this is what this gentleman talked about. But I can clearly see that this is not a viable option. If I put my $10 into doing what he says, it's going to come out as $2. So I'm going to tell you straight, I'm not going to put money into something like this. We already have a Jolly's Manufacturing. One of the most difficult things for our products, and he talked about he's a small business owner, and I sympathize with him, is the fact that small businesses cannot get their products out of Dominica. We would love to get our products in St. Lucia. We would love to get our products in St. Kitts.
So what's the problem?
But we just don't have transit areas. We would love to get our products in America. We would love to get our products shipped out of here. But Matt,
so it's not as easy as
it's not as easy, and it's very, very costly because the amounts that we could ship out are not big amounts. They're not a pallet. They're not a container full. So we have a problem. Not only that, Matt, one of the biggest obstructions to people who are starting the process is the fact that literally Dominica does offer some benefits for producing things. However, Dominica does not really subsidize development in terms of we have taxes that come in on certain things. The only way to really create an environment where you can produce things in Dominica is to create some sort of tax-free zone, because bringing things to Dominica expensive, sending out things from Dominica expensive, and then making the product in Dominica is expensive. Therefore, every time you put your product on the outside market, your product is non-competitive with a product that's mass-produced in another island at a cheaper cost. This is why right now, Matt, a lot of people don't understand the feud that America has with China. China subsidizes a lot of its businesses. Therefore, Chinese goods are cheaper. That's what's really happening here. And If Dominica wants their products to be cheaper, we have to start to subsidize. And here's what the administration needs to work on. First, we need to decrease cost of doing business. We need to decrease DOMLEC. We need to decrease the WASCO. And Matt, I don't know how they're going to figure that out. And then, Matt, we need to improve the business conditions in Dominica. Businesses in Dominica are taxed at about 15 to 20% more than businesses in the other islands that we're around. The business is being taxed excessively. So how can we compete?
You say we're overtaxed.
We're overtaxed, significantly overtaxed.
So here's the question. How do we get the kind of revenue we need to, of course, put into development projects?
Well, Matt, this is something this administration should have figured out 10 years ago. And I can tell you how to do it.
Well, I'm listening.
Well, first, we need production in Dominica. We need factories. We need incentives to bring people here to manufacture things. The basis for building any country is we need to manufacture things. We do not just need.
So what are we manufacturing?
Well,
what can we manufacture?
Well, that's what we need to get into. If you notice, we had the gentleman listed lots of raw ingredients. And I know recently Tuapito set up a factory, and I believe they're going to start exporting water. But that's recently. Look at that. We had the other water factory that we had over by Lubier side over there. We let that go as well, right? We were doing spring water. We right now have so much spring water in Dominica. I mean, if you're coming down over at Roger side, Canefield side, you have spring water. We're not even tapping into those resources. Water. We have a lot of raw products that we can do, which are agricultural products.
Plantain.
But Matt, you see, here's the problem with the plantain. Most of our plantain comes from the farm, and then we put it on a boat and we send it overseas. We do not have a processing plant here for plantain. We do not have a processing plant here for mango.
Your favorite snack is a plantain chip?
Plantain chips.
Produced right here. And then there's never enough.
Matt, there's never enough. In fact, yesterday I stopped by, they had 6 bags. I bought all 6 bags. And specifically, we can give a tag to this person. Momo's plantain chips is absolutely the best plantain chips in Dominica. I'm telling you. In fact, Matt, I've tested it. I brought a whole backpack to Seattle. I bought 2 bags of 30. They actually come in bags of 30. Very few people would even know that. Right. Or 25, I believe, right? And I brought 2 of those up to Seattle. I gave those to people, Matt, and they couldn't stop asking for more. Momo's plantain chips, and there's only a few places I can find it. It's amazing. I don't know what's they put in it. I don't know what they fry it with or what they bake it with, but I love it. So, but
it's been flying off the shelves.
But Matt, the whole idea is that we have to get products like that and say, look, here's a good product. Let's package it properly. Let's see if we can get the export market for it. We cannot keep.
Let's see if government can provide the incentives.
Well, Matt, that's the whole thing. And not only that, Matt, we need to be competitive with our sister islands because these islands have the exact same thing. If you go to Martinique, you can get plantain chips. You go to St. Lucia, you can get plantain chips. St. Kitts, you can get plantain chips. You can't get momos over there, but you can get plantain chips.
So we may have the edge, but we don't have the
we don't have
the number that we need to export.
That's what we need, Matt. And not only that, we need to start subsidizing farmers. This is one of the biggest mistakes that this administration has made. You tell me you want positive things. Matt, we have a lot of land in Dominica. Nobody is working that land. That land is just sitting there doing nothing. The government has not made provisions for people who want to farm to get a hold of those lands and to use them.
Well, I just heard, credit to them that they were offering lands for the young people.
But Matt, this just started, right? This is something that we should have done a long time ago.
I don't know if the young people are taking advantage, though. Maybe because access may be the problem.
Matt,
you have to create the access to the lands.
Matt, first of all, I don't know how a lot of young people are going into farming because we have executed farming. Most young people right now want to go into something else other than farming.
They're not interested anymore.
We need to start teaching agriculture back in our schools again. We need to start bringing people on farms. We need to start bringing real life farms. Now, we have a few good farms. I know up in Sylvania area, there's a couple of beautiful farms. Matt, we have to start making those things marketable. We have to show people. We have to bring students over there that can learn and can maneuver the tools for farming. Not only that, we have to have the government incentivized to bring farming equipment to Dominica to help us with, because we have very rough terrain. So we've gotten rid of the farming. We need to go back into farming, and we need to do it in a big way, but not just farming. After we farm the products, we have to make sure that we can take those products
Out.
and produce them. After we produce them, then we can get them out of the country. So it's just a free step program.
So where are the ships that they promised to export?
Matt, right now, how many ships do we have? I think we have 1 or 2 ships that leave from Portsmouth, and they load up a few things.
Nothing to talk about.
Nothing to talk about. Dominica needs to invest in itself. And instead of building hotels for foreigners to come and enjoy, this is what we should be working on. We should have a port. Port of Portsmouth has not been updated in 60 years. I think that port has been there since I was a child. They have done nothing to update that place. In fact, to tell you the truth, and I've said this on your show before, I think the government has abandoned Portsmouth. And every time,
So it's not nice and creamy.
it's gone. I'm telling you, the government. If you ask Mr. Skerritt where is Portsmouth on the map, he probably couldn't show you. I'm telling you that for a fact. They've abandoned it. There's nothing going on in Portsmouth. Portsmouth is one of the best towns that we have in Dominica because beautiful waterfront. We have beautiful beaches down here. We have a couple beautiful hotels that's been built. I think they built that Morocco hotel, is still sitting there, and supposedly we're building a marina down there right now. I mean, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't trust this whole development
I'm
thing.
still asking myself, what has happened to Morocco? You're sitting there.
For years. How many years? 16 years now?
A lot
I
of
think
years.
it's 16 years that Morocco, you built a hotel, right? And Matt, there's 2 buildings in Dominica that has happened to, right? The Morocco hotel was built. It was finished. Keys were handed over, and nobody's ever stayed in it. The building that we have on Independence Street, right? Most of us know it. Big building where Venus used to be before. I don't know the cross street of
I
it.
was told this afternoon there from a source
Yes.
that somebody has put an injunction on that one.
Well, injunction or not, that was a building that was built and has never been used.
But who are the shareholders in this one?
But
That's what the problem is.
But Matt, look at the size of these buildings that are being built. Who are the investors that are able to put money up and front these type of buildings and leave them unused? I mean,
Somebody's not happy.
so somebody's not happy somewhere. So I mean, when you have things like that going on, it breeds a lot of, I don't know. There's a sensitivity to it because you see these things going on, and you think to yourself, how can I possibly invest in an environment like this? This is not a thriving, bustling environment that makes you want to dip your money in. So you ask me for the positives. I say go back to agriculture. We need to find shipping lanes to get our products out, and we need to do better trade with our neighbors. There's a lot of things that we have here, Matt, that they don't have in the 2 French islands next door. I was in Guadeloupe, Martinique, not too long ago. Matt, I looked at some plantains on the shelf, and the plantains looked back at me, and I felt sorry for them. And I said, Matt, their plantains were so bad, Matt.
Miserable.
Matt, the plantains look miserable. They don't have plantains.
Hello. Are you the caller? Yes.
Yes, I am there.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Yes.
You guys remember around 10 years ago, I think, Chavez came to Dominica, and he gave the government of Dominica that factory up in
One
Portsmouth.
mile. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That has never opened, So I believe that the government have a serious implementation problem. They cannot implement nothing. I have no hope in those guys. If you cannot even manage a whole little shop, then something is fundamentally wrong. I doubt the government or the Prime Minister can implement anything. Give him a doghouse to run, I doubt it will be successful. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And of course, he's making a point about
it's
the
a coffee
plant.
house. The coffee house. But Matt,
That could have incentivized farmers to plant more coffee.
This should have been big. And this is the thing that I'm telling you about. I'm bringing the positives to you. So it's not like nothing positive has happened in Dominica. The problem is that this administration has never really taken advantage of any of these things. In fact, they've built these things as propaganda tools. And I think a lot of the projects that are happening right now in Dominica are propaganda tools as well, just to get votes. But once they come on stream, they'll never be used.
Anything for a vote, Andy?
Anything for a vote. And even if you have to pay for the vote right now, because you know, it's so bad. It's so bad sometimes, man. I drive through the countryside. I always visit. I got folks over in Calabishi. You go across to the countryside area. Passport Smouth over there, and it's always sad to hear, boy, they just passed with giving out envelopes, and it's like, Jesus Christ, who wants to be part of that? Who wants to be part of an administration that's giving out envelopes, right? I mean, the people themselves are telling you that, but you see. There's some hypocrisy and there's some sympathy in that, because here's the thing. If I give you an envelope, Matt, it's very hard to refuse that envelope. And at the same time, if I give you an envelope, whether you want to take the envelope, you're in need, you need that envelope. And you might not want to take it because of your beliefs, but most people don't have strong enough beliefs not to take the envelope, And to tell you the honest truth, if the envelope comes to you, I'll say take the envelope. But it's like, they've lost hope as to what is going to happen, and they're living day to day and trying to get by. So we got to get Dominica back to the path of development again. I think another path.
So education.
And Matt, you
bring the classrooms to the farms.
You got to go back to farming. We have to get back to farming. We have to get back to production. We have to start building some factories in Dominica, and whatever it takes to build the factories. We need to bring down the cost of Domlec. Domlec electricity is too high. It's one of the highest in the Caribbean right now, and there's no hope for it in the near future. Not even if the geothermal, that electricity is going to go cheaper than some of the other places.
Say it's going to run by 17%.
But it will still be more expensive than a lot of the other Caribbean islands. You believe that? We're going to produce it here. We've manufactured it here. But guess what? We're under the gun. And Matt, the next thing I think that we need to do, and I'm telling the administration what to do. This is a playbook that I would run if I were in charge. I think we need to start working with our French neighbors more. And when I say that, I think our neighbors next door to us, and Guadeloupe that way, Martinique that way,
south and north,
and then you have Marigoland and the Saints in between there, and then you have a few other little islands that they have around them. Those have about 1 million people that need service. 1 million people next door to us. We have 50,000 people. So Martinique, I think, has about 600. Guadeloupe has about 400. Next to us, 1 million people next to us that need goods and services. I don't know if you remember back in the days, Matt, that people would come across from Guadeloupe, come to Dominica to shop for items that we had in Dominica, bring over there and huckster the stuff across back. And I think that's still going on now.
Some small trade is still going on, yeah?
Some small trade is still going on. Now, Matt, if small trade is going on, why don't we turn it into big trade? Why don't we have dedicated boats that would load up with the things that those people need and bring across for them?
The Prime Minister, I think the Trade Minister also promised 2 boats, one going north, one going south. And that's many years ago.
Again, Matt, promises. This administration is a promise administration. I think a lot of people... and there's a couple of people that are going to hit me up on Facebook. I know Mr. Lincoln Durant is out there. Lincoln, I want to work with you. Hit me up when I get back up to the States. I have a few million that I can spend on you. But I want to start a business with Lincoln because he's so passionate about Andy Jolly.
About his Prime Minister?
I want to make him rich. I want to make sure he knows what real riches feels like, you know? But anyway, Matt, too many promises to too many people, and promises, but not promises kept. And this is what this administration has done over and over again. So how do we fix that? We got to do trade with our neighbors, and we got to put our neighbors to do trade with us as well. So that's number 2 point.
Somebody says land with markets plus refrigeration for export goods is part of the agricultural needs. There's a policy issue in governance. Even if policies are implemented, there's no evaluation to ensure long-term sustainability.
That's the key. That's the key. I'm telling you. And as I said, Matt, you said this earlier today, anything for a vote. Let's get the vote. After we get the vote, we're done. And this is how this administration has operated. Everything for a vote. Let's get the vote. After the vote, everything's over. Look at our health centers. They're in disrepair. Look at our police station. I would not, I mean, I've been to the police station a couple of times and I've been to other police stations, man. Our police stations are one of the worst in the Caribbean. And police officers may disagree with me, but guess what? Let's take a trip around. Our police stations, Matt, our hospital, meanwhile, while we built a nice building for a hospital, our hospital is in significant need. I mean, you know the amount of time people meet me by the road and tell me they go up there, they don't have this drug, they don't have that drug, they don't have the other drug.
Or they don't have a test.
Or they have a
Tests don't take place.
Or the test, they have to go and pay for the test outside. Although we're supposed to have the test in the hospital, but we run out of the test.
You know, in the States, they give you all the medicine inside.
Everything's done.
When you
inside.
leave with something else.
No. In the hospital, you have to send your family and get the medicine outside so that you can take the medicine inside, you know? So our hospitals, but look at that. We built them after we got the vote and we talked about them and we made a big deal about them. We forgot about them. Matt, look at our Windsor Park Stadium.
I see some lighting going on now.
I know. Are you shocked? But we needed the light when we wanted to host the test cricket. That would have made us happy. When we were going to host that test match, we needed the lights. But guess what? We're getting them now, though. I don't know why we're getting them for. We have another test cricket match coming up, or did we win something?
You don't want to say anything for a vote.
Anything for a vote, right? Because we need the stadium so we can go and have our party and we can go and do our rally. But guess what? When the test cricket was coming to Dominica, that would have provided hundreds of dollars for the small vendors and the people who house those people in Dominica. We never brought that. Matt, again, let's get back to the positives. You want to talk about the positives today, and I want to stick on track. The next positive that we need to make in Dominica is something simple. Right now, we are on a very, very bad tangent, right? And the tangent that we're on is that we have visitors that we import into the island for Creole Festival and for Carnival. And now I will give Asa praise for the Granby Breakfast Fete because that is a big fete. So you have Asa, and I'm going to say Asa, not the government fete, even though the color is red. But,
some people are wondering why you're red this year.
I don't know. Asa picks whatever colors he likes, you know, and it's fine. But we need to start importing people in there. And then the next big event that's coming up, which is very close to Asa's event, is Bike Fest as well. A lot of people are interested in coming to Bike Fest in Dominica, and that needs to be a bigger thing. But Matt, here's the thing. We have people coming into Dominica for about 5 days a year, for about 3 times a year. Well, that cannot sustain a country as visitors. And a lot of people say we have cruise ship people coming in, but the cruise ship people do not provide enough to Dominica. So we need to discount those people.
They don't spend enough?
They don't spend any money at all. They do not spend money at all on anything. So we need to figure out how to get more people into Dominica more frequently, whether we host other activities, whether we host summer events, whether we host Christmas events. And we cannot just host elections at Christmas to get people into Dominica.
Let's listen to this. Of course, somebody just sent me a voice note speaking to this situation about, saying Guadeloupe will come through to buy bread in Dominica. Let's listen.
We're going to move very speedily with the construction of the cruise village, because the cruise village is important for us. So we'll be building a new cruise village, and the ferry terminal will be within that cruise village. And the government intends to declare that cruise village as a duty-free zone. It will be a completely duty-free zone with all of the facilities. And the whole idea is to continue to attract business from Martinique and Guadeloupe. So the people of Martinique and Guadeloupe can come here, buy groceries from Dominica because it's much cheaper than in Guadeloupe and Martinique, and be able to purchase these items.
Well, here's the Prime Minister saying, we should get people to come to buy things in Dominica.
Well, it is true. And actually, Matt, there was actually, I have a lot of French boaters friends because, I'm a boater. I'm an avid boater. I love boats. I have too many of them. They did a count on my last tax statement. I think I had 5 boats listed on my tax statement. I'm trying to cut back a little bit. But true statement, gas or fuel is actually cheaper in Dominica than in Guadeloupe and Martinique. So if we had some place that people could fuel up, the French boaters actually love coming to Dominica to fuel up because our fuel is cheaper than in Martinique by quite a significant amount. So here it is.
So why are we not taking advantage of this?
Well, because we don't have any place marina. We don't have any natural places that we've set up that people can boat and.
So should we criticize the marina?
Well, we're not criticizing the marina, but Matt, you also have to remember this is things that were supposed to be done and said that they were going to be done by the administration quite a while back. So I'm telling you where we failed and what we don't have right now today. Now, maybe we will have it in 10 years, but we don't have it today. So therefore, it's creating this squeeze on us that we don't have places for people to work. We don't have ways for people to generate income from outside Dominica, and it's creating a squeeze on Dominica because it's reducing our income in Dominica. And that is that's the long and the short of it. We need to make ways that we can attract these people. We need to make ways that these people can come here and spend money and stay longer. So this is why I'm telling you, we have to find more ways to attract people to stay in Dominica longer.
We need a cruise village then.
Well, I don't know if it's a cruise village that we need. The cruise village, if you ask me, would be more for the tourist ships and so on. But the idea is we need a port where people can come in, that they can come in safely, they can get goods and services, and they can do that in a very, very good way, pack it properly, and get it out of Dominica. We need to find ways to get our produce out of Dominica, whatever we produce here, out of Dominica, and that is the way you stimulate the economy.
What about a free port like St. Martin?
Free port like St. Martin works. I'm going to tell you, it works because, Matt, you need that idea that there's duty free. People need to come in, be able to load up their boats and get out. But again, we got taxes, we got customs, we got this, we got that. We got too many things going on in Dominica. We have, I don't even think we have 50,000 people left in Dominica. I'm going for 47,000 people now.
You don't think so?
I don't think we do. All
right.
But you asked me for the positives.
All right. Well, let's keep positive. We're going to take a phone call. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
I know Andy been under the gun and people fire and shot at you. Andy, let me tell you something. The hardest thing for people to admit is the truth. That's why you're getting so much pushback, Andy. But I don't think Andy is trying to be negative about the country. The country is badly managed. From the top, I will tell you straight up. Now we go from bad management. Some people just love being lied to. Number two, because all what you just played before, years before, many times before, the promises made never delivered, and the people still hoping. Because hope is a positive. But when you get these long lies and many years of lies, and you keep hoping, at what point do you understand there's nothing, you can't get blood out of stone, man. You could squeeze it, not even water you get off a stone. So people must understand. And it's hard for them to fathom because they love the country the same way Andy loved this country, the same way I love this country. It's not about Mr. Scary you don't like Mr. Scary has been a bad manager from day one. And people don't want to hear it. It's hard to swallow, man. The truth is very, very hard to swallow. And I've always tell you, Mr. Peltier, you will be vindicated one day when the people learn to admit the truth, swallow it, digest it, analyze it, and make a different move, make better decisions. Because what Mr. Andy has done in the last couple of days and the many more times he come there is tell the truth. Anybody who lives outside of Dominica, even right in the Caribbean, you don't have to, and everybody want to compare Dominica to the United States. If you notice, I don't discuss the United States when we discuss in Dominica. There's no comparison. Whether you like Biden, Trump, or whatever, that is a conversation I don't self-discuss because we're not even self in the ballpark for comparison. So what Andy is doing is what a lot of people who live under this government can't do. What a lot of people, like Mr. Andy Jolly, Mr. Happy Martin, you Matthias Filthy, Lennox Linton, Blessing, all the people, including myself, who call and speak the truth to you on the radio about the condition of the country. It seems like the masses cannot digest it. They rather sit there, stay quiet, die in fear, and wait for a handout. And a country don't run a handout. A country run on production and good management. Matt, we could go on and on. It's not too much you could say. I told you once before, a broken clock is right twice a day. And that's about where scary is. 2 times a day. And the rest of the 24 hours, we lose time. What can you say, man? And thanks for speaking out, my friend. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Somebody says here on Facebook, let's see. Our head bounce, we drunk, and we disorderly Dominica on ecstasy, bad managers. That's what somebody's saying.
Well, it's bad management. And again, Matt, here's what management is. And management is the fact of realizing that you have a goal. Then you go to work and get the people that can help you accomplish the goal. And then the goal becomes the goal, and then you need to work on the ROI of the goal. You make small tweaks and adjustments. So that's it. And one of the reasons that he just brought up was one of the things that Mr. Scary really needs to admit to the general public, and everybody out there can see this. I wouldn't mind if he came out front. And he seems to be a very general guy. I really want him to listen to your show and hear this. Come out front and just tell us you can't do it. I mean,
You think he has to be honest with the people?
He has to be, because Matt, he said, Matt, if you play back clips from since this man has been in power, there's very few things that actually has been done that he said he was going to actually do. His manifestos has never really come alive. But I'm not here to talk about that today. I'm going to tell you the positive part of it. Because as I said, if I was there, this is what I would do. And this is what I want him to go do. Because if he has I wouldn't say what it is, the testes, I have my testes are cut, but if he has them, then go out there and do this and it will work. And I'm telling him what to do. So the next part about it, you told me be positive. So I come and say, the next part about it is that the so-called blue and green and red economy is a sham. It's a sham. Because here it is, that all the other islands, Matt, just about all the other islands, you go across to Marigoland, you go across to Guadeloupe, Martinique, and you just keep going, have subsidiaries for fishermen to go fish. So, for instance, instead of fishermen paying regular gasoline in their boats, the fishermen would go ahead, and this is why these other countries beat us out, because they have simple things like that. So I'm telling them to you right now. Okay. When you go to the gas station to fill up your boat as a fisherman, your fuel cost has no taxes on it. 0 taxes, which means you get the fuel at a discounted price. You know why? Because you're going out there and you are producing and bringing back fish so that you can sell. We also don't want you to sell the fish at a very extremely high cost.
At a discounted cost. That's your point.
But Matt, they subsidize the fishermen. Fishermen should not be paying tax. First of all, I'm just going to tell you this. Boaters, fishermen should not be paying tax on any fuel simply because they are not on land. The taxes are meant as highway taxes and road taxes. Here you have a boat that's on the sea. Those vessels that are on the water that are using fuel should not be paying any taxes.
That's a new one for me.
Well, you can look it up. We have it in Seattle. In fact, we have it in America. Any vessel that's on the water does not pay taxes on the fuel. You can get all your money back. I mean, anybody out there can look it up. So if you go across to basically the other islands, you come up with your boat and you're a fisherman, registered fisherman, you come here, you fill up your tank, you pay normal taxes, that's called maybe $4 a liter. You pay $1 a liter. Because they want to incentivize fishing.
That's a good way of incentivizing.
Not only that, Matt. Remember, I told you I turned to fish and I stopped eating meat. So you are now going to create a healthier population. Not only that, you're going to create a market where these people can now sell fish and everything else outside of Dominica. Dominica has beautiful deep waters. Our waters are some of the best waters in the Caribbean. And anybody who is a boater or who goes out there will tell you, Matt, in most places, Miami, you have to go fish, you have to run your boat 40, 50 miles outside to just catch one fish because it's so shallow. But in Dominica, you take a peepwee and you row it outside 100 feet. You have deep water and you can start catching fish. Why is our fishing industry in Dominica not feeding the rest of the Caribbean? We have invested so much of the Chinese with all these fisheries that we've made, but where are we exporting the fish to? Who's buying the fish? Why are we not incentivizing fishermen to go out and fish? So there it is. You have a big economy, big blue water out there. It's surrounding Dominica. Why are we not taking advantage of this market?
Good point there. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes? Oh, sorry. Let's move on to this caller. Are you there? Yes?
Mr. Jolly,
Yes, sir.
if you look at in South America today, in Canada, there's two gangs fighting the farmers for the palm oil. The palm oil is a little butter maca tree. It makes a little red nut, very delicious. Gangs are fighting the farmers for that product. So that is to tell you the price of it. I so you know what I'm talking about. And Mr. Jolly, unless the government will go that way, what you're saying, they have been saying that for months. Max can tell you that we are going to go nowhere. People can kill me if they want, like what they do in others. We are going nowhere. And what happened to the Prime Minister? He spent too many times on his radio show with too many negative talk. And all those talk that does, it invoke that spirit. As Mervyn was telling Matt, it invoke demonic spirit on people. They do all kind of things, foolishness, murders. And that is what the government don't understand. So many bright people you have, I hear them from Benz, from all over Dominica, from St. Thomas. Put these people to work, as what Mr. Jolly is saying. Let them come on the radio show, your Labour Party show, and educate the people. Mr. Jolly, unless you don't go, as you say, I'm a farmer, you know. I was a farmer, I was in tourism, as you say. Look at Roseau. Roseau Catholic Church is one of the biggest brands for the cruise tourism. But you know what? We don't subsidize the Catholic Church to get a tour from the cruise ship. Mr. Jolly, if you have to sell a package of that cruise, of that Catholic Church, you can get up to $100 and something for a tour on the ground there. Just around the Catholic Church with the UNESCO heritage site and history. So exactly what you're saying, that ask Happy Mate, how do we go to Norway and buy a boat for the farmers in the 70s? After he was alive, he was in Farmers Cooperative. Ask Happy Mate how we get to Norway and a little sailor from Portsmouth. Norway's not here, you know. And Happy wasn't no seaman, you know. So you can ask Happy Mate how you go to Norway, how you find money, how your family in St. Joe, Clyde Farrar, Keto Farrar, buy a plane, buy a boat. They are alive there today. Your family from St. Joe, ask them. Paul Edwards, Ian Pringle, the same thing you saying, and those guys were trading.
All right, let's move on there. Thank you. Matt, one thing the PM has said is the state of the art cruise port. And imagine since Colin McIntyre left us as a minister, he's receiving a salary as a consultant for that project. So,
What's good? What's good? How many salaries is Colin receiving? That's quite a few. But Matt, the caller was right. You know, I remember when I came back from studying, we used to have Pringles next door. Pringles, the Pringle people, they owned the building next to Jolly.
Yes.
Yeah, and I remember they had a small plane, and that plane would go across to St. Croix, St. Thomas,
yeah,
the U.S. Virgin Islands, and that plane would be loaded up with fig. I remember my dad used to pack a box, man, and send for my auntie every time. And when my auntie get that box, man, my auntie was religious, man, but that lady would jump for joy. I almost thought one time she'd break her knees. But it was true. We had people like that, Pringle, who had a plane, and they would fly out stuff, and it would reach there the same day in a couple hours, and Pringle would fly about once every 4 days.
And that's many years ago.
Yeah, but what happened to that? And that says that we
have gone back?
Well, it's not that we've gone back. Here's the thing, Matt. We actually have a market for our product. So which means that Dominica is in demand. But we cannot fulfill anybody's demand because we are locked in to Dominica. It's easier for us to bring in containers here and put on our shelves and sell to people, but we cannot get the containers out of Dominica.
It's an imbalance in trade there.
Imbalance, and the government doesn't have nobody working on this imbalance. And again, Trump supporters out there, or Trump advocates out there, or adversaries, whatever you want. What is Trump working on? What is the biggest thing that Trump sat on and he ran on? He worked on the fact that we were going to balance off trade in America. So our prime minister is doing a horrible job at balancing off trade in Dominica. Our trade is back to front, and Dominica will never win unless somebody fixes the trade in Dominica.
The question is, what are we exporting?
Well, that's for him to figure out. That's not for me to figure out. My job is to tell him what to do. He's my civil servant, and he needs to serve me. So when he's ready to serve me and serve me well, let me know. But he needs to fix the trade in Dominica because it's imbalanced. And all them duties that we have here, you know why we have all them duties, Matt?
Excessive,
it's because our trade is imbalanced. So he's trying to prevent stuff from coming in or tax it heavily coming in because we cannot get anything out. But if we had a fair trade balance, we would not have all these stupid duties that we have. If we were making cars in Dominica, we wouldn't have the amount of duties that we have. If we were exporting tons of things from Dominica, we would have the money. But anyway, I'm just here to tell you how to make the money. So let's listen to what you have to say first, and I'll tell you how to make more money.
Matt,
Yes,
it's right. Yay! Hi, Andy. You know, Andy, I hear you talk about Roosevelt Skerrit not being able to do the job, or he should come out and say that he can't do the job. I'm not going to say that. If for 25 years, if he could not do the job, I think he had lots of opportunities to learn. You know, this is not about whether this government is competent or not competent. They choose to not to do the things that is needed in the country, you know, because when it comes to acquiring wealth, he knows how to do that very well. He knows how to get the people to pay his rent that he said the house does not belong to him. He's paying rent. I'm not too convinced that this house he's renting, it's not his own. You know, when it comes to doing, you know, to signing MOUs and knowing not to tell the people what's in there, he's able to do that very well. He's able to put monies away in offshore banks. You know, he knows to do that very well. He knows how to COD passports. He knows how to do that very well. So I'm not going to say Roosevelt Skerrit governs Dominica the way that he wants to, that he continues to benefit from it. And that is to get the people poorer and poorer while he and some of his goons, you know, are able to build mansions and acquire wealth all over the place, nationally, regionally, and internationally. Okay? And so then when the people are so poor, then they're going to start to look at you as a god, because you're the one that, you know, that can, they start to talk about the type of car you drive, you know, where your children go to school, what you wear. And that's what we see in Dominica. I don't think it's that they're that incompetent, you know? It's just they are doing it the exact way that they are supposed to do it, because that's what autocrats do. I'm just saying this afternoon, it's Friday, it's the Memorial Day weekend, and Andy, the barbecue season has officially started. I'm just saying, have a good one, everybody. Take care, bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
Take a break, we'll come back.
All your garden supplies, plumbing, welding, electrical supplies. Visit Do It Center at the former J. Nassif Hardware location on Goodwill Road. Call us at 255-6890. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. All you, I just meet Goldwyn in Roseau again. Same place outside Flossie's. I tried to dock him, but he had time see me. Where? Story start again. Million, lot of my partner with us, huh? Saka fella. I say the same thing you doing, shopping at Floss's, and you don't have to tell me the same thing you tell me last time because I busy. It's to hear him way. You reckon? About my bucket, boy. I won't tell you that I save money in food and drinks when I buy quantity. I save more. Oh, shucks, man. Good when you're still telling me. I know already. The pack I'll expect him, why? But it could him up here for Palais. I'll tell all my friends from London, US and Dominica to come to Floss's, right next to the Rosa Market. Open Sunday to Saturday. Floss's can't do it to you.
20, digital in 20. What? 20, digital in 20. Happy anniversary to digital. 20 years. Digital, then you are plenty. Turning 20, digital in 20. Turning 20, digital in 20. Turning 20, digital in 20. If you will digital, then you are plenty. 20 years we rolling with digital. If you not too fast, then hear me well. I have my TV and still have my cell. I have my internet all from digital. 20 years of real connection. So pay attention. You might benefit from all what I'm about to mention. You can be a VIP or get 6 months on your bill free. Because 2020, digital in 20. 2020, digital in 20. 2020, digital in 20. If you will digital, then you are plenty. And if you will digi, you can win. Celebrate, connect and win. Win. Practice quickly, you can win. When you will digi, that's a win. Yeah. 2020, digital in 20. 2020, digital in 20. 2020, digital in 20. If you will digital, then you are plenty. 2020, digital in 20. 2020, digital in 21. 2020, digital in 20. If you will digital, then you are plenty. Yeah. Activate a 7-day plan or higher. Sign up for postpaid or sign up for home internet for your chance to win. And here's all what you can win. Give me now. I tell you Amazon voucher, brunch voucher, winner voucher, grocery voucher, even gas voucher. And I said, hey, you know why? Because we
Ooh, oh, oh, KFC. Ooh, oh, KFC. Looking for some place to go. Red variety meals for soul. KFC. Grab your family and your friends. Join in the experience. KFC. It's the place to be. Made for you and me. KFC. KFC. It's finger licking good.
I think so. We have a phone call on the line. Are you there? No, we missed that one. 449-3095. Yes, you can call at this time because we don't have too much time. We have about 35 more minutes on this program, Dominica, and I see a lot of WhatsApp, Facebook messages coming in there. So feel free to call and ask Mr. Andy, all the questions you have. That's the only time we have for now.
Well, I'm sticking with the positive, man.
Of course, stay positive.
Staying positive for you. So the next probably thing that I would do, and again, like I'm giving them a checklist of things that need to be checked off. I think to some extent, we need to work on our so-called tourism, right? Because our tourism is probably one of the worst tourism thingies in the Caribbean. And I'm going to tell you what part of our tourism that we need to work on. First of all, Dominica has a lot to offer. Dominica has more than St. Kitts. I think definitely more than St. Lucia, more than Grenada. I've been there before. Barbados, definitely we take them down easily. St. Vincent, oh my God.
We took Barbados?
Barbados, we have more to offer than Barbados. And if a visitor goes to Barbados versus they come to that, we have more to offer. Now, Matt, the problem is how we offer it. You have to understand.
You mean service?
We serve it on a platter. When you go to a restaurant, Matt, sometimes even though the food not good, if it looking good and if it's smelling good and if it prepared or presented properly.
Presentation.
So here it is that we have all these sites that we want people to go. Where you have the Sulphur Spring, maybe you have the Cold Sulphur, maybe you have Trafalgar Falls. We need to present this in an organized way for people to get them to really appreciate it. We cannot wait till the cruise season or the ship season here and you run and you prepare it. Well, what does that tell you? That tells you that we're only doing things for cruise ship people. So we need to make sure that all those sites are maintained meticulously every friggin' day of the year. There needs to be somebody, and I don't know, Dennis
Charles.
Dennis Pam Charles, yes,
Charles.
Dennis Charles
Pemberton.
Pemberton, yes, that's the one. But you cannot just say cruise ship season. Because, Matt, the truth is that people who stay over in Dominica create a lot more revenue for Dominica. So they also want to go visit those sites. People who stay at Secret Bay, people who stay at Jungle Bay, people who stay at Intercontinental, they're down there. They want to go visit those sites. But, Matt, those sites are never kept up. The grass is not cut. The bathrooms are not working. An attendant is never at the site. We have beautiful mountains. Matt, we have some of the most absolute gorgeous mountains in the Caribbean. We have no hiking trails that were kept up. You understand?
True.
Now, I know we have Duivayas here. They've been doing a great job. Shout out to Brohim and the whole crew out there. They have doing amazing things.
We have the White Kibble church.
But Matt, those things are not kept up, and that is the biggest thing that we lack in Dominica. We expect to make money, but we don't expect to present it well to people. And not only that, Matt, not just present it, we cannot have 10 different prices to go to the same site. There has to be organization. When people come here, they believe it, they trust it, and they understand it. That is what we need. Let's take
on the telephone. Yes.
Good afternoon. I have a question for Mr. Jolly.
All right.
Yes, Mr. Jolly, with the performance of the Minister of Finance, Irving McIntyre, and the Prime Minister, would you hire any one of them as the CEO to run your company? Good afternoon.
Well, Matt, first of all, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of our problems are due to the fact that those two people that you just called, who is the Minister of Finance, Mr. McIntyre, as well as Mr. Roosevelt Scarrett, none of them are qualified for their job.
Minister of Investment.
None of them are qualified for their job. First of all, here am I to tell you, Mr. McIntyre is a MD, a doctor by trade. Doctors are usually one of the worst financial people. In fact, doctors do not like to even handle their own investments. They would doctors are very passionate about medical field. They want to do surgery. They want to operate. They want to do clinicals. They give their money to investment people to handle their money for them. Doctors do not manage money very well. They are among some of the worst money managers. You can Google this and look it up. It will tell you on Google. So there it is that you have a finance minister that's in a category. And I'm not saying that he is, but I'm going to tell you, based on what he is as a professional, he is definitely one of the worst people to choose as a financial person or even to take financial advice from. Just hands down. That is known in America. It's known everywhere around the world. The second part of all it is that part of our problem that we have in Dominica, where we cannot approach things like I brought up, first of all, farming and agro processing and probably shipping. We have Mr. Roosevelt Scarrett. Everybody knows Mr. Roosevelt Scarrett history and how he came about. First of all, he has no degrees in agriculture. He has nothing that he's ever done in agriculture. And I don't believe his family comes from an agricultural background.
He has said in recent times he's a farmer.
Again,
he's a backyard garden.
Anybody can go on Photoshop these days and make themselves into anything they want. We're talking about the real deal here, man. You have to understand, just because you put doctor in front of your name doesn't make you a doctor. You would have had to do the work, do the research, do the program, and make sure you specialize and get to the point where you are validated. So a lot of these people that we have are giving themselves fancy names. When you go up to the ministry, you have minister of that ministry, and this is a fancy name. This is name calling. And that's all it is. There's no validation behind any of these people. They do not have a resume. And Matt, I don't know if you know what a resume is. A resume is here's what I have done. Here's the next thing I have done. That's a resume. None of these
Your
people
work experience.
have work experience or a resume that would make them qualified for the position that they have at that position. So I'm just going to tell you that. Now, here's the thing. I'm a pharmacist. I can tell you how many prescriptions I've dispensed. I can tell you how many pharmacies I've built. I can tell you, everything about pharmacy. Don't get me wrong. I'm a professional in pharmacy. If you come to me today, I can tell you which pill to make you sleep well, to make you wake up well, to make you pee and to make you poo. And if you ever want anything else, even though you want to have better sex or worse sex, I can have a pill for that for you.
Let's take a phone
Professional.
Call. Hello, talk. Yes. Are you there, caller?
Good afternoon to you, bro. How are you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing my best. Master, good afternoon to you, my man.
Yes, sir.
Master, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you play an audio of the Prime Minister indicating that the prices of groceries are cheaper in Dominica than Guadeloupe? Did you play that a while ago?
Yes, a little while ago, yes.
Prime Minister not serious, man. Is he serious? I would also ask him if he's serious. Let me give you a quick synopsis. I was in Guadeloupe, but I came in yesterday. One apple in Dominica is about $2. A kilo of apple comprises of approximately 7 to 9 apples for €3. In equivalent to our currency, it's $6. I'm giving you one example. I'm maybe giving you more. Shrimps in Dominica is $50-something for a pound. In Guadeloupe, it is a kilo is €7. That's $25. He has to be careful. Tell him for me that he has to be careful. And the tropical water we are producing in Dominica now, we need more of that water in Guadeloupe. And I spoke to the marketing manager, and they were not, fabricating bottles. Now they're fabricating bottles, and I want to get on board for my program for her to export more Dominican water, the tropical water to Guadeloupe, because they're really crying for that. And I spoke to her about that. So the cost of groceries in Guadeloupe is exorbitantly lower than Dominica. And he needs to take his statistics correct. I'm just correcting him. He needs to be careful.
Okay, caller. Thank you very much. On the telephone, are you there? Yes. Good afternoon to you. 239. Hello?
Hello.
Good day. How are you?
And thank you, Mr. Petty. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
That's old labor in Solomon Lane. As Andy was speaking, he was talking about no matter you have doctor, whatever it is in the desert, in anything. But I heard a preacher last night was preaching at Pastor Randy thing. It was carried on in life, and he was telling so many people want to be doctor, this, and that. And he said, although he's an apostle, he said that he's living in America, but he was saying that there, you have to be able to do the work. You have to be able to do your study, whatever you have to do, and have the real degree for that. But some people go in there, they want to be doctor this, they want to be pastor this, they want to be this and that. And as you say that, the man shared so much in his mind with so many things last night from Pastor Ron in the church. Yes, and they're having a seminar, but I was at my home. And I believe to myself, too many people putting themselves in certain things of which they know they cannot. You have to learn to discern the gifts that God gives you. Discern the gifts that God gives you, and then you go into the field of it and then discern. You see, a lot of people have not discerning spirit. They just jump into being, and they want to be this, they want to be that. There's a songwriter who said, both are we and top, ting-a-ling-a-ling. And that is how it is. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Oh, somebody saying Andy loves Portsmouth. He's backing opposition. Is he backing an opposition candidate in Portsmouth? Who he thinks can
I'm
backing
not backing any candidate. Matt, I'm telling you, every time I drive into Portsmouth, and I just have to get right down after I pass that big S of Morn, is it Morn Espanol? And you're going down into Portsmouth and you hit that long stretch right there going into Prince Rupert Bay, Matt. That just reminds me of Carriacou in Grenada. It reminds me of Frigate Bay in St. Kitts. It reminds me of Rodney Bay in St. Lucia. It just is so it just looks like it could be so vibrant. It reminds me of a few other places that I've seen, but it's just gorgeous. It just has so much potential.
So you're saying that this government is ignoring Portsmouth?
Matt, the only person who is exploiting the benefit of Portsmouth down there is Secret Bay. Look at how beautiful Secret Bay is on that mountain. People pay $600 US a night to stay at Secret Bay, and they love it. They absolutely, and I know why, because I've stayed there myself, and I can tell you, Secret Bay is one of the gems. And it's not even in Portsmouth, it's outside of Portsmouth a little bit, Picard kind of. But Matt, it's crazy, it's beautiful, and we have to understand that we have so many gems here, but they're not being appreciated and they're not being recognized for what they are right now. And hence, we fail to take advantage of them.
On the telephone, yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Matt. Good afternoon, Mr. Jolly.
Yes, sir.
If we had what they call business going to go to the government, we'd be on top of the world. Government want our things, Martinique want our things, but the government don't want the property improved, put them in stagnant. They can't do nothing for them. That's all about it.
All right, thank you very much. Let's see if we can take a voice note here, and it's already 2:38. I'm a little quick with that.
Good afternoon, Matt. What's up?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jolly is on the program right now, and I just tuned. But Jolly spoke about the qualifications. So I keep telling you that how Roosevelt Skerrit, if you want to be destroyed in your career, just join Mr. Roosevelt Skerrit. Or next thing you can do is be corrupted. Because remember when Samuel Johnson came on the program and he spoke about, he came and gave his qualification and blah, 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 blah. If you have to ask him, where is the impact assessment stopped for the he has none of that on his table, but managing an airport. Such a big development he's managing. And this is how Dominica goes in the drain with Roosevelt Skerrit and his family run government. And Andy's there speaking, as I just put on, and I'm hearing him just saying the same way I think of putting people with their qualification into the area. You have some people coming and say, no, you don't need that qualification to operate in that in an institute or whatever. Once you're educated, put you there. But look at the mess, Dominica. Look at the mess that is happening in Dominica. And he's just alluding it to the fact that, with his qualification, how he can explain things. Do you think Kasani can explain anything about the hospital and doctor? No, he cannot. Even though he tried, he cannot. Do you think that Irvin Magan can come and speak about finance like how Dr. Thompson Fonkin will come and speak about finance? No, he cannot. Do you think Thompson Fonkin can go and speak about doctor and surgery? And he cannot. And that is the problem we have in Dominica. Poor people who went and studied in their field to do the work and then let them speak on it. Not Roosevelt Skerrit speaking agriculture, on everything. Roosevelt Skerrit is adopting everything, but he is nothing at the end. He makes a mess with everything, and you're just there. You have a few of them who have to come and cover up for him after everything gets messed up. Man,
Yeah.
anyway, take it easy.
It's sad. It's sad. Well, again, Matt, that's what I'm telling you. And this is the problem with these small islands, We can have our ministers go out and say, hey, I'm Minister of Investment. Well, what are your qualifications? How many investments have you done? How many buildings have you built? How many people have you vetted for investment? So, Matt, again, I think, as I said, I gave you the problem. We got to shuffle everything over there. A lot of the people who are up there right now, starting at the top at Roosevelt Skerrit, going all the way down to the 19th minister, are probably unqualified for their job. If you look at their resume and you send them anywhere else to get that same job, they would not qualify for it. They would not even be able to fill out an application for that job. Because guess what? If you, for instance, I'm just going to give people an example here. You say you're the so-called minister who's in charge of investment, Matt. Here's the first thing that I'm going to ask you. What has been your latest ROI on your latest project? Matt, do you think our Mr. Roosevelt Skerrit can come in here and tell me what's the ROI on any one of the projects? The return on investment. What is the return on investment on any one of the projects that he's done? because he's giving away houses, so there's no ROI. The hotels that we built, we have no ROI on them. We've had no follow-up studies on anything that we did. For example, that hotel that we built over in Lale Coco, I'm going to tell you what I would do with it. I would turn it into a timeshare. Because guess what? There's no way that hotel will ever be full, except if you make it a timeshare where you can sell timeshares to people that would buy into the hotel and they would come there and spend a week because they bought into it. But that hotel should be a timeshare hotel. That hotel has nothing to offer anybody. We don't have a beach in front of the hotel. We don't have a playground for the hotel. We have a hotel with a swimming pool in the middle of a city. What is that? What's the attraction? And then not only that, Matt, we still have the damn fall cage right next to it.
You would remove the fall cage?
Well, Matt, what is the attraction to the hotel? The only people, in fact, I would go out and find everybody who was having a fall convention and bring them to the hotel. I mean, just between you and me. But anyway, I want to go up to more positive things, Matt, because I want to get back to you on one more positive thing before you go. I don't want to run out of time here because you told me bring positive.
One more
I'm
positive.
telling
Are
the
you there?
administration what to do.
Hello, talk to me, yes?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Matt, good afternoon, Mr. Jolly. Matt, the Prime Minister said that Guadeloupe price is more expensive than Dominica. Guadeloupe is cheaper than Martinique in price, and Martinique is way cheaper than Dominica. Even though you have to go through the exchange, it is way, way cheaper than Dominica. Because even Antigua, where we use the same currency, with $500, you'll get more in Antigua than you'll get in Dominica. So we want to compare prices, right? All you have to do is drop prices, so we will compare it, drop it to make it better for Dominica. And the gas, Matt, the gas was already too expensive, you know. Because all the time we paying $14 for gas. Gas should be around $10, $10, and we were paying $14 for gas. That's why now we almost reach $20, you know. So them man, you know, they want to go out there and make people believe that Dominica is compared to the others. They are at the same price. They are the same. No, we are way too high in Dominica. Cost of living is way, way, way too high.
All right.
Yeah, that scholar has a good point. The cost of living is, in fact, I mean, I brought it on the station a few times. I revisited St. Kitts, and I know Red Bull is not good for you. I bought a Red Bull. Red Bull was $6 in St. Kitts. I came to Dominica, the same Red Bull was $12. So it's double the price. I mean, and the shrimp thing that they said, same thing. I go to Guadeloupe, you can buy shrimp, you can buy meat. They actually have pork and beef over there. It's half the price as in Dominica. So the caller raises a good point. But anyway, we're staying on the positive track. And we know the Prime Minister is not right all the time. But what I would have said if I was the Prime Minister on that excerpt, Matt, is that there are several things that we have in Dominica that the people in Guadeloupe and Martinique need. And they're willing to spend money on it. And what we need to do as a civilization, again, is say we're in demand, take advantage of that. So again, I'm going to come back to that a little bit later, but we understand that the prices in Dominica are higher. But the other point that I was going to bring to you, because you want positives, and I'm going to tell you what they should do is, Matt, vocational schools. We need to bring back vocational school. There are a lot of people in Dominica right now that do not want to go to the regular schools. And I'm going to tell you, I love our schools, but I think the curriculum that we're teaching in our schools is garbage.
We need skills.
Total garbage. The curriculum just needs to be redone in schools. But I'm not going to go into that because that is a little complex for the government, although our Prime Minister should be having the best schools in the Caribbean, because guess what he used to be before he became a Prime Minister, Matt? He was a teacher. So you would think he would have more regard for the teachers, and you would think he would treat teachers better. Not only that, more empathy towards teachers. But in case our Prime Minister has forgotten totally who he is and he's lost. So we're not going to go into the curriculum for the schools. That should be a priority for our administration because he used to be a teacher. But I'm going to tell you, Matt, we've lost vocational schools. Our vocational schools used to teach simple things like plumbing, welding, woodwork, etc., etc. We lost that in Dominica. And now there's so much of a drive for these kind of jobs. Matt, I hire a plumber. My plumber is $150 US. My electrician is $250 US per hour. and this is per hour. A plumber in the US is $150 US an hour.
Wow.
Matt, a welder, the guys, they can go anywhere and make money. You see these big rigs that they're building for oil all over the place. These guys fly out on these rigs and go welding. And you know, Matt, another good thing about welding is that if you want to even become a better welder, become an underwater welder. Matt, those guys make money. And I'm talking about money. But Matt, we have people here with those skills. We're not teaching people welding. We're not teaching them carpentry. We're not teaching them masonry. We're not teaching them plumbing. We're teaching nothing anymore. And our administration looks down on people who have those skills when they should be looking up at people who have those skills. Our thinking has gone to the dogs on that.
All right, Dominica, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. I want to end with a human interest story. I want to get Andy's views on that before we go. Stick around, Dominica. Stick around.
Bring your cooler. Bring your cooler. Keep me number one all over. Number one. Make ready in Dominica. TBB nice. 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 When you come in the jam, you would have a baby in your hand. When you come in the band, you should have a baby in your hand. What we drinking? DBB style, DBB style, DBB nice. 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 BB Spice Rum. It's more than just a rum.
BB Spice Rum, distributed by Belfast Estate. Drink responsibly.
All you, I just meet Goldwyn in Roseau again. Same place outside Flossie's. I tried to dock him, but he had time to see me. Where? Story start again. Million, lot of my partner with us, huh? Saka fella. I said the same thing you doing, shopping at Flossie's. And you don't have to tell me the same thing you tell me last time because I busy. It's to hear him way. You reckon? About my pocket, boy. I won't tell you that I save money in food and drinks when I buy quantity. I save more. Oh, shucks, man. Good when you're still telling me. I know already. The pack I'll expect him, why? When it can him up Pepper Palais, I'll tell all my friends from London, US and Dominica to come to Flossie's, right next to the Rosa Market. Open Sunday to Saturday. Flossie's can't do it to you.
Andy, I did promise you to talk about, somebody was asking for an update as it relates to, are we moving any forward with this professional act that you've been asking?
You know, that professional act, for those of y'all who don't know, I was involved with Kondwani Williams, who supposedly is an attorney still, and basically we gave him a substantial amount of money to close on a property, and instead of that, he used the money for his own personal resources and to do whatever he wanted to do personally. So we were involved in that. We got it reported. We reported it to just about everybody, the DPP that we could report it to. And nothing was done. Nothing really was done. There was some coaxing by the police to make sure to return the money, and some of the money has been returned, not all of it as yet. Kondwani Williams is still walking around as a free man out there, and still taking people's money and still doing lawyer work and everything like there was nothing done. And we're taking the matter to court still. And the matter is going to court. We're taking it to CCJ.
Are you suggesting that there's a law for the rich and a law for the poor?
Matt, there is actually a law. I didn't believe it before, because, you know, sometimes you hear, the police talk to Mr. and you know that never happened. And I can see why there is so much personal, if you want to call it personal vengeance in Dominica, because the police, to tell you the truth, ignores a lot of things that actually happen, you know, and not only that, like you said, there are different ways that different people are treated. If you have friends in the police force, then you're treated one way, or if you are a certain stature in society, you're treated a different way. There are two different laws for different people, and excuses are being made, Matt. I've never seen this before. They say, well, here's the reason why we don't want to do this. And I'm thinking, You're the police. You don't want to do something. You do what is your protocol. Your protocol states that if X was done, then you need to take Y action. And Matt, I have
like it's in America, nobody's above the law.
no, but apparently there are people above the law in Dominica. Dominica is a place where you can become above the law, where you can have your own special cloud, if you want to call it that. And I saw that with Kondwani Williams. I mean, here it is that you have a criminal, you have a case that was put forward to you. There's definitely evidence of criminal intent, and there was definitely evidence of everything else. Evidence was put right in front of you. And I ask myself all the time, man, if I can give the police a clear-cut case where they can win, but they still can't win, what would happen in a case where what would happen with any of the other cases? Here it is, I brought a criminal to you. I've told you what the criminal did. The criminal confessed to you, but you cannot even arrest that person and put them behind bars. What type of law and order is this? I mean, it's definitely not the law and order that we watch on TV, because it's a different.
Was there anything personal about that?
Well, Matt, there must be. Because
I'm talking about you. Did you have anything personal against Mr. Williams?
Well, I have nothing personal against anybody. It's business. If you steal from somebody, the law says then you shall be arrested. I mean, the law clearly says that. However, in certain cases, I guess in Dominica, exceptions are made because of who you are, who you know, or what you do, and therefore you cannot run a proper country. And I know we've had the Legal Professional Act, Matt.
What is that?
Matt, that again is dead in the water, because again, Matt, remember, we talk about it when it's in season. And this is what Dominica is.
Is it a seasonal thing?
It's a seasonal thing. You have mango season, you have guava season, you have legal professional season, you have voting season, and then you have every other season in Dominica. So there's nothing that we do with a flair or with follow through here in Dominica. You know, as soon as Kondwani gave the first dollar back, I think the police forgot about him. They say, oh, that will work out. But the mere fact that, Matt, the crime has been committed, it was neglected by the police. It was neglected by the authorities. It was neglected by the system. So therefore, we have a systemic problem in Dominica that the playing field is not even for everybody. That is right. So again, this is why a lot of people have to watch which side of the ground that they walk on. They can't talk, because if they talk, something might happen to them. Or if they talk, somebody might say something about them. Or because guess what? It is a reality. And I never thought for 1 minute, I've heard people say it, you know, I say, man, don't worry about that, man. Your turn will come. But Matt, the law in Dominica is unfair. And not only that,
if somebody saying on Facebook, well, so take him to court. And
we are taking him to court.
Oh, and if he owes you?
We are taking him.
Get your money.
Yeah, but Matt, we are taking him to court. There's no doubt about that. There's a court case filed with the CCJ. In fact, one of the attorneys in St. Lucia was just arrested and disbarred because this happened. And there was a big story on it just about 3 or 4 months ago. So we are taking him to the CCJ. I'm hoping to get Kondwani disbarred. He's not a good lawyer. He has never, Kondwani Williams has never, ever been a good lawyer. He's very dishonest. There's nothing about that guy that has an honest bone in his body. And I'm going to tell you, everybody is going to know about it. Whatever he's asking out there is going to be denied. It will be known, Matt. This is my thing. I'm going to make this happen for Dominica. So here it is that we go in. But anyway, we need to make sure that things like that don't continue. We have to make sure Dominica is a good place. Dominica is a place that people can trust. Dominican people have usually been a very good set of people. They've usually been trustworthy, honest, very kind to their neighbors. And we have to start to really practice that to bring back the old Dominica. And there was a song, Bring Back the Milk and Honey. And we need to bring back the milk and honey where people can trust each other and work together to bring this country to a different place.
What a way to end. Andy, we will see you again sometime in the summer, maybe?
Always a pleasure. I'm always around. You never know when I'll pop in, Matt.
It is a pleasure, my brother.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. A driver lost his license I think his name is Ellison Fabian from Bend. So if you lost your license, please, you can find it here at Q95. Okay, so Edison Fabian, you lost your driver's license, so please pick it up. You're from Ben, so we'll take our final call and we'll wrap it up for the afternoon. Are you there, caller? Yes, please. Final call. Hello? I guess you missed another opportunity. Thank you. Anderson Jolly.
Always a pleasure, man.
It's a pleasure.
You know, I hope the things that I brought to light, we're gonna see some light on them. You know, and
don't forget I owe you love. Huh?
Oh my God, Matt constantly thinks he's a better domino player than I am. You know, and we will revenge and we will go ahead and we will reconcile at some point. But it's always a pleasure to be here. Everybody out there, be safe, be strong, keep up the courage, and keep up the good work.
Happy anniversary to digital. 20 years digital. Then you are plenty. Turning 20, digital in 20. Turning 20, digital in 20. Turning 20, digital in 20. If you in digital, then you are plenty. 20 years rolling with digital. If you love to post, then can you well. I have my TV, I still have my cell. I have my internet from digital.
I am and for my opinion about a lady you want to marry. You're walking, you're joking, you're stealing, you're dealing, you're looking for harm. Plenty harm, boy. You're looking for harm. You going to get harm, boy. Why you want to marry? You don't have no money. You ain't working no way. You don't have a payday. You think it's so. You think that work. You think it's so. I wish you luck. Without money to buy honey, you're heading for misery. She wants hairdo and calado, and you ain't have none. Somebody will harm you. You better believe it. Somebody will harm you. I hope you will take it, partner.
Young fella, I think you should consider, employment before enjoyment. You learn trade, you have to straight. You're a smart man, a magician. You're looking for her. You're going to get on, boy. You're looking for her. Plenty on, boy. Why you want to marry? You don't have no money. You ain't working no way. You don't have a payday. You think it's good? You think that's good? You think it's good? I will tell her. You must assume she want perfume and good things to consume. You say she nice, but take advice. She must want some right. Somebody will on you, yeah. You better believe it. Somebody will on you. I hope you will take it, partner. Godfather, I must marry her detail, yeah. She is so pretty. She looks so sexy. You're walking, you're joking, you're crazy, you're lazy, you're looking for her. Then you plenty on, boy. You're looking for her. You're going to get on, boy. Why you want to marry? You don't have no money. You ain't working no way. You don't have a payday. You think it's so. So you think it's so. I will tell her. Friday evening, people passing with box of fried chicken. She watching you in your old shoe. She feeling to the tilt. Somebody will on you, yeah. You better believe it. Somebody will on you. I hope you go take it, partner.
All aboard! Ship ahoy! Yeah, we go again. Can't leave my family. It's a man's family. Wake me up my slumber. Makes me do a number. It's me time again. Good notes and we break. Find myself a partner. Just to weed the pressure. I don't want to speak. Tell me what you're waiting for. It's time to hit on the floor. I don't want to speak. Oh no, I want to get in the heat. Then let's ship it down the street. Can find a boat. Time to rock the boat. Come get in line. Strictly party time. Can find a boat. Time to rock the boat. Come and get in line. Strictly party time. Baby. Let me shake you around. Let me have the fun. Get me on a fire. Let me take it higher. Get me set that mood. Soak that in my blood. I must jump forever. But this one never. don't want to feel. I don't want to feel. Yo, yo, tell me what you're waiting for. It's time to hit on the floor. Carnival of love. Time to rock this floor. Come and get in line. Strictly party time. Carnival of love. Time to rock this floor. Come and get in line. Strictly party time. Champion once again. It is on your way. Breathe them nice and steady. Everybody ready. When we start to jam, rock the boat and slam. All the bodies sweating. All the bodies sweating. Tell me what you're waiting for. It's time to be talking of you. I don't want to sleep. I don't want to sleep. I want to get in the heat. Sing that ship me down the street. Time to rock the boat. Come and get in line. Strictly fucking line. Carnival of love. Shake the boat. Come and get in line. Strictly party time. Don't rock the boat, baby. In my confession to you, my lover, I must discuss what we should and shouldn't do. Is a relation based on trust. My lover, we do jealous and suspicious, it's outrageous and ridiculous. We messing up the mind. We messing up the mind. I tell you no. Let's have a good time. Let's have a good time.